Hello Taurus, and welcome to your August 2025 tarot card reading. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Jane. Welcome. So let's go ahead and get started here, Taurus. What is it that you need to know for August 2025? Okay. All right, pull one more. Taurus. So, Four of Coins really speaks to a place where you've been kind of stuck or stagnant, or where you've been kind of hanging on to what I like to say scraps. You've just been kind of accepting something that you know you could do so much better, or it could be better, or it could make more money, or it could be more fulfilling, or whatever, and yet steps haven't been taken necessarily because you're afraid to lose what you've got. Like there's a fear of taking that risk, releasing your grip on this to explore new paths. And when we do that, sometimes we tend to stay there a little bit longer than we would like. And I think there's kind of this clear indication here with the Death and the Ten of Swords, which I'll get to in just a minute, but it's a clear indication that you're changing enough and time is pushing you hard enough that this really just cannot stand anymore. And I think Leo season, or the beginning of August, is really about taking some small steps toward the higher goal, right? So that you can finally kind of get out of this stuck place. This may apply to you in many areas. It could be financial, it could be romantic, it could be your home life, whatever. But it's probably been problematic for you for quite some time. And the page here says, look, Taurus, it has to happen in small ways. It has to happen one step at a time. And this is one thing with the pages, I always say it's a one day at a time type of deal, which everything always is anyway, so I'm not trying to be all cliche about it, but it's kind of breaking it down to really manageable pieces. The thing I like about this story here that I'm getting is that I don't see pressure. And I don't see you putting pressure on yourself. I don't see other people putting pressure on you. This is just a matter of it's like when it's time for a little baby chick to start pecking itself out of its shell. Like when it's time, it's time. It's time for this growth to happen. And there's really nothing you can do to stop it, but it doesn't have to be this huge whirlwind of activity or this massive push. It's just little bits at a time so that the success can be sustainable, so that it can continue, so you don't burn yourself out, and you can transition nicely. And I think this is a story of transition for Taurus right here, okay? And then we have this Queen of Swords, which is kind of a highly decisive energy, okay? This is kind of icy, kind of brutal in terms of how she deals truth. But I think that's what we all kind of need. And actually, this really speaks to Mars coming into Libra. Okay, Mars is in Libra throughout the course of August, as of August 6th. And that Libran energy is really forcing that pendulum to start swinging the other way. Because I think this Four of Coins feels a bit extreme to me. And it seems like it's been sitting there for too long. So now that pendulum is starting to swing in a more favorable direction here. But that hand of justice is cold. That hand of the hand of natural law is not always super friendly. So I think this transition, while it's not necessarily fast and it's not this huge whirlwind of energy, I think there is a serious tone to it that's kind of like a now or never, or you get so fed up with something and you know that if you stay in that place any longer, you're only then hurting yourself, you're hurting the people that you love, and I just don't know that that's really what you want. And so the Queen of Swords, like I say, she's brutal with truth. And it's very hard to look at ourselves sometimes and lie. Sometimes we just have to admit, like, the reality is I didn't want to let go. The reality is I let myself get stuck, or I let myself get to this place, and I'm the only one that can really get myself out, you know? So I feel like this change is coming from, like with the Death card, I often say it's like in your bones, or it's in the molecules, the atoms of your body. Like there's actual deep change, both physically, psychologically, emotionally. This transformation is not light. It's not like some kind of light thing. I don't know why it feels so heavy to me, but it does. You know, I'm not saying that you're going to have dark circumstances in your life. I'm not saying bad things are going to happen. It's just, this is a very deep transformation, a very deep death rebirth process that you're going through right now. But the death, like I know we always talk about transformation and death rebirth, which I just said myself, but I want to kind of hammer kind of hard on the notion of death. Not physical death, but like things officially dying out. Like you seem to have reached a profound end point, right? Like this is it's not just the end of a chapter, it's like the end of a whole book. And maybe you didn't realize that you were here, and maybe just even a couple months ago you didn't realize that you were so close to this point, and now here it is kind of smacking you in the face. It's like, Taurus, you're done. Taurus, this path is over. Taurus, this whole phase, like it's obsolete now. Maybe you didn't realize. I feel like this is like a reality that's kind of smacking you in the face. It's not that you don't accept it, it's just that it feels kind of abrupt. And it does call for you to rise to the occasion, as the Queen of Swords is making decisions, and she's planning and strategizing and thinking about what comes next. But it is going to require you to make decisions and then to hold fast to those decisions. You know, it's not a time to waver or to go back and forth or to meander. It's a time of conviction, a time of seriousness, a time of kind of just plowing forward. Because the Ten of Swords, like, there really isn't any going back. I mean, if you continue this Four of Coins, this stagnation, whatever, I think at this point it's your choice. You can choose that. I don't know that you intentionally got yourself here. You know, it's never an intention to get ourselves into a tight spot. It's never our intention to hold on to scraps. But sometimes we don't realize that the fear creeps in. We don't realize that the comfort takes over. And I think this is a period of awakening for Taurus, where you say, wow, I really got comfortable here. And I don't think you're okay with that. I mean, there's certain areas where it's okay to be comfortable, right? It's okay to have things be consistent and whatnot. I just don't know that this is the right time or place for it. Ten of Swords, it's, like I say, there is no turning back. It's done. And I think you weren't expecting the end point to be so abrupt, and yet here it is. It's like you think the bridge is 10 miles away, and yet you turn the corner and boom, there it is. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize I was this far along. You didn't realize you were this far along. I think you thought you had time. You thought you had some wiggle room here, but the universe is like, no, this is happening now. It's happening this month. Okay, it's still slow. I mean, it's not, like I say, it's not chaotic. It doesn't have to be life changing overnight, and it won't be overnight. It will be over the course of time, over the course of months. But you've reached the finish line with something, and it's never been more obvious to you than now. Okay, so let's see what else comes through. See, there's the movement right there, Eight of Cups. Okay, another page. I'm not going to take all those, but I will take the one that we saw. Okay, we are getting a lot of movement here, which means throughout the second half of August, as we finish Leo season and we begin Virgo season, we start to see movement. Now, there's always movement. I think the movement is in contrast specifically in relation to the area where you have had none. So there is movement the whole time, but there's different kinds of movement. This is more practical, right? Page of Coins, where you just kind of take some steps. You start kind of implementing new things and that kind of thing. But the Eight of Cups, I think, is a little more potent, where it speaks to the emotional movement, where you start to really accept that you can move away from your comfort zone. You can move away into unknown terrain. You can, see, we're even having lightning here in Mississippi right now. It's lightning and thunder, so it's kind of stormy. So I'm kind of getting a stormy energy around you, Taurus. It is dark, and yet your intuition is so fierce. And I think right now, Taurus, leaning on your intuition is a very good idea. And this has been a recommendation for several of the signs this month, not all of them, but some of them. And I think you are one of them, where it's so important to consistently or, periodically disconnect for like an hour or so, a couple of hours, turn off the phone, turn off the TV, turn off the computers, the tablets, whatever, and just sit with yourself, because you need to be aware of what's happening emotionally, because you're starting to say, I actually don't feel safe here anymore. And I think the lack of safety is also kind of surprising, because you're like, I was safe and it was paying the bills and it was being taken care of and it was, but now all of a sudden it's not. And I don't even think you can really pinpoint exactly what even shifted. And maybe there is no like exact thing that really shifted. It's just that it's just time. And this is what happens when death or Pluto does certain things in our charts. And I think having Pluto come into that 10th house, and I know he's been in there since November. It's been a long time since he's been in there, but it takes him a while to like really do his work and work his magic, because he's such a slow planet. And sometimes we don't always know that we're in a Plutonic place until we hit walls like this, or we I don't want to say hit a wall. You're not hitting a wall. You're actually breaking through a wall, right? You suddenly break through a wall and you're like, I didn't even realize there was a wall there. I had no idea. I was banging my head against something, but yet here I am, and I have this whole new terrain in front of me and all these new opportunities. And with the Page of Wands, what I love about the Page of Wands is his optimism and enthusiasm for the unknown. And this is something that feels actually quite Sagittarian to me. And I know you're not Sagittarius. I know I'm talking to Taurus. But we've just got a lot of third house activity with Jupiter in Cancer, Venus in Cancer. And I think the movement is really coming from that third house. I know I said nothing about Sagittarius, but it's just giving that like Jupiterian, expansive, wanting to expand your mind, wanting to grow, wanting to enhance your life experience kind of energy. You're in a period of expansion, and it's coming on the heels of a period of contraction here with that Four of Coins. And that period of contraction, again, I don't think you realized how contracted it actually got. So throughout the second half, there's the emotional disconnection, the emotional moving on, the sense of enthusiasm, but then there's also the work involved. I don't think Taurus is ever averse to doing the work. Taurus is a sign of hard work. It's a sign of survival and self-reliance. And so you, more than anyone, fully capable of putting your head down and doing what needs to be done. Now, what I really like about the Eight of Coins is how there's always a flow to it. You may have heard me say this before. There's always a flow to it, right? It's kind of the other half of the Magician, where the Magician card is about the spark, the inspiration, the new idea. The Eight of Coins is what says, okay, let's channel that through my physical vessel, through my physical body, and let's use my hands and let's create it. Let's make it real. So, and I would say, I'm not saying y'all are only working with your hands, but it's, it's collaborating with people. It's sending the emails. It's signing up for the products. It's getting this. It's doing that. It's getting the website out. It's being out on the dating market. It's having the conversations. It's doing all the things that are necessary to get you to where you want to be. The things that maybe you were extremely resistant about not too long ago. To me, this feels slow and incredibly fast at the same time. Because when this is only a month long, and by the end of the month, you're already seeing massive progress, but it feels like you're just doing little bits at a time. This is like when we say a little bit goes a long way, this is what this reading is all about for you, Taurus. A little bit goes a long way. Little tweaks, little steps, little tasks get you so much farther along than you can possibly comprehend right now. So don't procrastinate. You don't need to procrastinate. You don't need to fight off, this creative urge that you're getting, right? Just lean into it, because come Virgo season, we're going to start to feel a lot more movement here with the Eight of Wands. And the fact that we have the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands tells me that yes, there is a transition throughout the month of August. By the end of August, you won't be here anymore. Now, you may not be fully at the goal, but you will be away from the starting point, which is the Four of Coins. You'll be far off of the starting point. Now, Eight of Wands feels organized. It feels structured. It feels straightforward. There's not a lot of chaos here. And I don't really see a lot of chaos at all in the reading. We'll see what other clarifiers we get for the comprehensive reading. But as it stands, for this main general reading, I don't see chaos and complications. It seems like, Taurus, if you have an idea of where you want to go, you can just go. Nothing is blocking you. Nothing is preventing you. I mean, there's going to be some big decisions once you hit Virgo season, once kind of September starts, okay? There's going to be some kind of crisscross in your trajectory, and you get to have some big choices here. But I think all the heavy lifting will be done at this point, and this is just sort of like, okay, well, now you've hit this crossroads, so now you get to determine how this continues to unfold. This is the universe giving power back to you here and saying, you got to make a move, Taurus. It's your turn. You make a move, and then you do, and then the universe will respond accordingly. So you want to be very thoughtful with things this month. I think that's an important message for everyone. Every month there's like some kind of theme that starts to emerge. And I think thoughtfulness and intention are really, really important themes throughout the month of August, where we just have to be aware of what we're doing. We have to be intentional with our choices, because we don't want to just live this month through Leo season, through Virgo season with blinders on. Okay? Because you are making this is all a story of a pivot, and this pivot over the next few months is crucial, because it's like, well, if you don't make the pivot, you'll just stay here. And some Taurians will. Some Taurians will just stay in their Four of Coins. They'll hold on to their scraps. They'll stay in their fear, and that's the end of it. It's end of story. Because not everyone can really handle this depth, this kind of molecular transformation that's going on right now. It's hard. It's hard to go through it. Dream the world into being with the lizard spirit. Dream the world into being. So, I mean, this is all happening, I think, because you had a dream. You had a fantasy. You had a vision for your life. And that Four of Coins was not cutting it. And you know that. I think again, Queen of Swords, brutal truth. You know that. You know the Four of Coins isn't going to get you there. It's not enough. You have to let go, and you have to understand that there's more. Nothing is yet set in stone. Because you may think with the Four of Coins that that's the end all be all, but this whole reading is like, no, this is not the end all be all. There is so much more on the other side of this. Okay? All right, Taurus. For the comprehensive reading, we are going to pull out these cards. We're going to open up every single one of these. We're going to talk about these in the comprehensive reading. If you want to join me for that, the link is in the description box and the comment thread down below. Thank you so much, Taurus. You guys know I love and adore you. Let's go ahead and see what comes through here for the Four of Coins. Okay. 9 of Wands. 6 of Cups. Chariot. 4 of Swords. 5 of Cups. And the Emperor. Ace of Swords, more truth. 6 of Wands. 10 of Cups, beautiful. Now for this Death card. Tower. Like I say, it's going to smack you in the face. King of Wands. Page of Swords. Ace of Wands. 6 of Swords, another card of movement. So we're officially getting all the 3 main movement cards. 6 of Swords, 8 of Cups, and 8 of Wands, and 7 of Swords. 4 of Wands, Justice, love justice. 3 of Coins, we have the World card. Ace of Coins, Knight of Swords, the Empress, beautiful with the 8 of Coins, love that. Queen of Cups, and Judgment for the 8 of Wands. Another 8 of Wands. We're going to pull 3 more. Things are going to be moving real quick come September. And the Sun, beautiful. 5 of Coins, the Moon, and Queen of Wands. All right. This is where we're going to pick up. So if you want to join, links down below. Thank you so much, Taurus. Have a great month. Take care.